The way that we're conditioned, literally all of us assume that this is our default. Meaning, do you want to know what your default is? If right now you stopped doing whatever you're doing, like who here is into bettering themselves? I'd assume everyone. Who here is working on becoming more confident? Who here is working on becoming more healthy, more successful, make more money, so on and so forth? Everyone. What if I told you, stop doing that? What happens if you stop doing all of that? We immediately think we're going to fall. You know? It's true. It's like we're always running away from this shit. It's like we're running towards something better and running away from our shitty little default. And that's why everything that we do is just very fucking compulsive. You know, if you're someone who's like working on being confident, what are you constantly reinforcing? That you're not confident to begin with. If you're someone who's working on self-improvement, what are you constantly reinforcing? That you need to be improved. So it's endless. Okay? Now, this is what I call step one to personal development. And you're in this paradigm where you think this is your default. And for anyone in that paradigm, what you should be focusing on is optimizing it. That's usually the step that we take. And that's where all this advice you hear, it's like, well, if you have social anxiety, go out and start putting yourself out there. You know, start working on becoming more confident. If you're someone who's always negative, give yourself a positivity challenge. Focus on some positive things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, like working on becoming more confident, improving yourself, et cetera, is good because it's optimizing this paradigm. But that's only step one. Step two is dropping that paradigm and moving towards the abundance paradigm. Okay, and it's asking yourself, well, why am I not motivated to, like, let's just say you need to work on hustle. Why are you not motivated to hustle in the first place? Why are you not confident by default? Okay, so it's changing that default. What if you stop doing whatever you're doing, instead of falling, you realize you're there? And that's the second step. And more and more, and this is pretty crazy, even in today's world, it's like we're kind of realizing that we've literally optimized everything we can think of, and we still didn't reach abundance. It didn't work. And it's tough too, because we are literally addicted to this shit, and especially in terms of motivation, we're addicted to just feeling like shit and running away from stuff. We can't picture a reality where we don't run away from stuff. Linking to what I was talking about before, where people don't allow themselves to feel happy or allow themselves to take in their success, part of it is, on one hand, you think it's bad, you feel guilty about it, because you feel like you don't deserve to be happy, because you're probably shamed about being happy as a kid. But on the other hand, you're also afraid that if you allow yourself to be happy, you'll lose your drive. And you won't be able to run away from scarcity anymore. It's like, oh, if I get too happy, I'll be too comfortable and I won't hustle. Okay? Anything where you're afraid of not doing it, where you feel like you're running away from something, you gotta drop that in terms of your motivation. Okay? It's like misery or, again, feeling like shit or scarcity will get you in, but it's to get level 2, you gotta switch that to abundance. It won't get you all the way there. Okay? And it's a nuanced point, and it's kind of whack, because for most people, it's like you do have to still work on optimizing stuff, but then the advice to switch things over is very contradicting to optimizing stuff. Meaning, for example, all the nuances, if you feel like complete shit, doing a positivity challenge helps a lot. But to move it over, you need to ask yourself, why am I not positive by default? Why do I need to do something to be positive? Doing something to be positive is reinforcing you're not a positive person. So different things. Okay? In terms of being real, that's another huge one. Everyone has trouble with. It's like we're all just fucking people pleasers, as I said before. Step one, if you're a people pleaser, is there's some stuff to do, like maybe practice disagreeing a bit, proving yourself nothing bad happens. But all that is supposed to do is to get you to that end goal of being real in the first place. It's supposed to remind yourself what that feels like. It's not to depend on doing things to be real, because what is that reinforcing? You're fake. Okay? The same with different exercises. If I bring some people up and say, you start yelling, you start loosening up, that's good, but that's optimizing paradigm 1. Why are you not loose to begin with? So it's thinking in that way there. And this causes you to kind of re-examine literally everything, because in the world of today of advice, we're all just focused on optimizing, optimizing, optimizing. No one talks about switching paradigms. No one talks even about being motivated by abundance, because that too, I compare it to working for money. The assumption we all have is, well, if I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't do shit. I just play video games and smoke weed. and just eat shit. Like, that's what we think, but that's not true. If you had all the money in the world, you may stop working for a little bit because you're so used to this compulsive running away from until inspiration kicks in. Okay? And then you'll be inspired to do something. But it'll be coming from a different place. It'll be coming from abundance, not scarcity. Think desperation, inspiration. It's not the thing, it's the place it's coming from.